everyone, and welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. Today is Monday, August 29th. Very important date to remember. We only have 2 days left of celebration, which ends on August 31st, 2022. I did check just this morning, which is a few days before the 29th, to see what was available. Everything in this catalog and on this sheet are still available for celebration except for 2 items. One being the Pool Party Soft Seafoam envelope cards, and the other one, which is one of my favorites, which is the Tree Lot Dies. Both of those are now gone, but at the time of filming, all of this was still available. So with a qualifying purchase of $50 or $100, you can get one or multiple items depending on how much you buy. So please remember that celebration has just got 2 days left, and if you want to get something, please think about it and get your orders in. If you currently do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. You will find a link to my online store below. If you have any questions, my email is also below, and the description of the product and all the items I used for this product we're going to be making are below as well. So with all that being said and all the housework done, let's get on to what we're making. Let me get this out of my way here quick. No, we're not making an envelope. I'm starting with the envelope because I wanted you to see how this card fits into an envelope. We are making what is called a TP card. It's an old style card that's been around since I was a child. Doesn't get used very often, but this was sort of fitting for the card I designed. This is the Hippest Hippos TP Camp Out card. And what is in the envelope, so it does fit, is this lovely little TP card. We're going to put it together in a second. On the inside, it's also stamped. And it goes together like that. And it stands up like this. So we have one of the hippos is taking a swim. One of them's out boating, and the other one's out by a campfire. I think it's a darling card. It could be for boys, girls, whatever you choose to use. You know, whoever you want to give it to, children, adults. I did use a Velcro dot on this one because it is going to a child. If you are going to go to an adult, you can use magnets if you choose. I choose not to give magnets to children or possibly elder people who have pacemakers and such, because it's not good for them. And so you can choose whichever you want. Velcro dots are available just about any place. I was out and I picked up some at our local Bi-Mart store. So like I said, you can get them everywhere. So on with our little TP card. It's really easy to make. So we'll set that aside and let me grab some of the parts of the TP card. Now I have pre-cut a lot of this. I've even pre-stamped our envelope on this one, just to help speed things along a little bit, because there's lots of little pieces to this, but we'll start with the big stuff first. So what we need, oh dear, I made a mistake right off the bat. I didn't realize there was a score line. We're gonna have to cut a piece of paper. So you need 4 or 3, 4. You need 3 pieces of paper. And whatever cardstock you choose to use, that is 4 by 4, and we're going to cut a piece together. You need 1 piece of white for the inside, which is 3 by 3 3/4 square. You need 2 pieces of DSP. Now this is from the Rings of Love DSP that's also available for free. But I love this blue background. I screamed, being outside. So that's what I used for that. You need 2 of those, and those are 3 by 3 1/4 square. And you need only 1, but this is 1 1/2 square, and I've cut it diagonally. So I have an extra one there. So we have to, since the problem with this is I didn't realize it was already scored, and that score line is definitely not where we want it. So I'm going to grab some Night of Navy really quick, so just bear with me for a moment. Keep my, grab a nice square piece here. Hopefully that doesn't have anything on it. And grab my paper trimmer, which I have all of my dies sitting on top of. Sorry about this. I had not planned. I thought I had trimmed a good piece, and I did not. But that's the way things go. So get those out of my way. So now we have three pieces that are 4x4. Now you are going to be scoring these pieces. You can use your trimmer, you can use your scoreboard. I'm going to use my scoreboard. And if you hadn't watched on my previous video, this is what this diagonal line I put in here for. It's just for my ease. And before we get going any further, let me grab my glasses. It's always a good idea to put some eyes on when you're seeing. Comes with old age. So we're going to score both of these directly in half one time. Diagonally. So that should be all the scoring we need. We do need the trimmer one more time, because if you look at this, we need to trim our pieces to go on here. Now I already cut this small one in half. We need to trim these two in half. And like I said, you can trim those just by putting them in there or lining them straight up. So there's one piece. Number two. And a piece of white for the inside. Like that. So we'll set that over there. So first we're going to take and fold and burnish these on the score lines. Put these together. So I found the easiest way to do this is you're going to put one in. They're all going to be facing. You can put the center one in the middle. They're going to fold like this to give us that triangle shape. So when you put this on, you want to make sure you don't go glue below here. So I find it's easier to do. I know that this top quadrant is all going to have glue on it to about here, about this angle here. Move my chair, and I'm just going to put glue. We're not going to fight with this glue bottle. I grabbed a new one. I had a hunch it might not be so good, so I'm coming about halfway down. And I'm just lining this up right up to the score line. And I'm going to pick it up and make sure I'm right out to the edge there. Like that. And this one here. And I'm going to flip it around so it's easier for me to see. Oop. Slide it around. Pull this up to make sure that we're lined up straight. Then you can come back and just, I'll move these a little bit so you can see, just a little bit of glue along the bottom here where I missed. But it's better than getting glue everywhere you didn't want, and I got that one good enough. So that's this first part. Getting glue all over. So that's there's our teepee. Like I said, it's a pretty easy card. Now mine's gonna fold this direction. So you have to think about where your stuff is gonna go. So this is my back. This is the inside of the back. But before we do that part, we're going to do the inside and a little bit of stamping. I have pre-cut, I'll pull these out while that's drying. I have pre-cut almost all of the little pieces. Got some sunglasses in here and some more water dots. So I've pre-cut most everything. We have some hippos. And if you notice, my hippo does not have it, skirt's not finished. That's because it's gonna lose its skirt. Anyhow, we're just gonna slide all these over here until we're ready for them. But we do need to do some stamping. Now, remember when you're stamping on this, you're gonna be looking at this card almost at a slant. So when you look at it straight on, you're gonna be going, this is your center. So you're gonna be looking this direction. And the same thing will go in the center. So when I put this white piece of paper in here like this, when I look at it, that looks straight to me, but if your card's closed, straight is this way. So, but most people are gonna be looking at this direction. So it's up to you how you go on. I put mine straight across the bottom because I figure they're gonna be looking at this the right direction. So one piece of white is gonna go here and leave that blank for writing. The other one is gonna get stamped. And the other thing we have to stamp on this card is the flames. Now I did pull a few pieces from other stamp sets to make this, besides the Hippest Hippo, which is this one. I grabbed the balloon from Elephant Parade, and I grabbed Art Gallery for the happy birthday. But you see this little flower here? I needed to make a fire, and I decided that little flower would make a great fire. I'm going to show you how I made that flame as well. I believe I shoved a piece of white paper in here. Nope, I didn't. I will make one though. I threw a piece of extra paper in there. So let's go ahead and stamp the happy birthday. We're going to do that in Memento, and grab my Memento ink and grab a piece of not Whisper white, basic white. It doesn't need to be a big piece, just a scrap of some kind. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that real fast, and we'll come back to building this. So I'm doing a little happy birthday across the front. You can do it diagonally if you want. Normally I wash mine off, but today I'm not. And I'm going to put a little few balloons. It is a birthday card, even though they're camping. Having a party while you're camping's fun. As for the little flower and the flame, so I looked at the flower, and I do need a piercing mat. And I grabbed Daffodil Delight, Poppy Parade, and Pumpkin Pie to make my... Now all I did was stamp the Poppy Parade and grab my scrub. This is my scrubber here. So we do need to scrub it in between colors. Grab some pumpkin pie. Just sort of offset it a little bit so it's not exactly where the other one was. Clean it off, a little yellow, and we'll just turn it a different direction. And if you want a little more yellow in it, you can give it a second time. And those are our flames. for our campfire. So you can see how tiny it is. And so then I just sort of fussy cut around it to give us our flames. So back to building the card. Before we put this in, we need to blend this with some blends. And I just grabbed, which one is this? A light. This is light daffodil. I'm not doing a great coloring job. I'm just putting some color in the center here. Put a few little highlights and do a little thing at the bottom. This one is Highland Heather. Like I said, I'm not doing fancy. A little dark. And where's the other Bermuda Bay? Yeah, this is light Bermuda Bay. I wanted lots of colors. It's for a child's birthday. Like I said, it's for a child. It could be for an adult. I would not cringe getting a birthday card that looked like this. I think they're sort of fun, you know? That's what birthdays are supposed to be, fun, you know? Think back to your childhood. So we'll get those out of the road and get these all glued in. I find it easier to get the inside done first. Like that. Now you could add more decoration to the inside if you want. You could cover all the panels. You could put all kinds of stuff. And you can use this for different stamp sets too. I mean, it can be used for anything. I've done seen some Christmas ones, beautiful. Next, we're gonna put our DSP on. So 2 are gonna go like this. And those 2 are gonna go like that. I said, once you get all the pieces cut out, it goes very quickly. While I'm gluing all this, I'm gonna do the friendly reminder to please ask you to subscribe and like. And I am trying to get this channel to grow in YouTube world, and once I get the subscribership up, I can offer more things. And as I've said in the past, if there's a type of card you want to see, or some kind of it doesn't have to be a card, it could be a 3D project or something. Something you wanted to learn how to do, or you know, have something you wanted to try but you can't figure it out. Let me know. Let me see what I can work out and see if we can fix up and help you out. And these little pieces, now you don't have to do these little pieces, but I really do like them finished. Those are the feet. Oh, wrong way. Okay. So we're going to build this scene by scene. So once again, I'm going to look at this. This one's going to fold in. This is this. So this is my back. The back one is where I want the fire. So we're going to start at this one here. Nothing is going on this one, because it's going to be covered up when you close it. So we need parts to build. And remember, when you're looking at this, I'm going to say this over and over here. When you're looking at this, up, it'll be turned. I'm going to try to close this a little more. So it'll be turned like this. So this is not straight. This is straight. That's the hardest thing to remember about this style of card. So we're going to do him in the bath. So I grabbed and I cut out a couple of the little water, put some water and grab my snips here. I know I just need a small piece for in here, not a full one. So I like to round off this corner a little bit so it looks more natural. As natural as water can look sticking out. And right about that one there. So it fits inside. We'll glue that in there first. You just put a little glue, if I can hold on to the piece. Like this. Like that. And this is the little guy I've chose to go in the inside. Now, you don't need his whole body. I want it so he's sticking out about that much. So you can chop off some of his body, but we don't really need to. I'm just going to put glue down here. Didn't even need to color it. So that's about like that. And then we're going to tape him in. Now you could use dimensionals for this. This is going to a child, and so I did not want to use too many dimensionals. So glue him in there. Now he is swimming, so he needs, and there's the goggles and the snorkel. So we'll give him some goggles and snorkel. You just need a little bit of glue here and there. And the snorkel is right here, little at the top. I do have my tweezers somewhere, but they've grown legs. Now, a little bit of glue over. If you notice, my snorkel is going slightly over the fold line. That's okay. You can go over the fold line as long as you're staying to this side of the fold line, because when you open it, it'll stick out. It's hard to show on here, like that. And we'll do the same with the umbrella. But if you go over this side, it won't, because when you fold the card, you want it to be inside that margin so it fits in your envelope. Yeah, that's right. Optical illusion. It looks bigger than it is. It's really not. So next we need to put some water in. Some more water. So I cut a bunch of the water droplets. So I'm just going to put little drops of glue all around him, up above him. And I'm going to grab my take a pick tool. And when I looked at this, when water falls, it tends to fall. So the heaviest, the round piece. Okay, my finger's stuck. I'll grab this one too. So the round piece, and finish my sentence, goes to the bottom because it's heavier. Trying to get this in here. Boy, I think I have too much glue on my fingers. Just one moment. Get these flipped over, and one more big one here. A medium one. And then we got some little ones. Of course, they're always, when you flip them around, they're always upside down. And since these are splashing away from him, I'm going to put them going upwards. And I've got like 3 more to go. Whoa, definitely too much glue on that one. When I get done with this card, I will let the glue all dry. I won't try to rub the glue off of this because there's too many little fine pieces. What I will do is I will either grab my rosin bag or I keep a little bottle of powder so I can just, shake it off. And put a little on there and blow it right off, and it takes care of all the stickiness. So here's our boat, and here is our lovely ballerina. But she's not going to be a ballerina for long because I just got rid of her tutu. And this is the water. So I don't want the water to go over. Now I need to turn this at this angle because this is straight now. And I want a little water over this. I'll cut this right about here. Just try to curve it into what you've got. And I cut this sort of an angle, so I'm going to trim this off a little bit. There we go. We're going to place that on the bottom of the boat. And then I'm going to put her in the boat, about like that. And about that works for me. And glasses. I don't know if you can see on there, but she has purple eyes. I always wanted to meet a girl that had purple eyes. Or even a boy with purple eyes. I think that'd be cool. Not the fake ones, real. Okay, so next we need a little life preserver for her. Now there's a little life preserver you can cut out. It's very tiny. And a white life preserver didn't do it, so I grabbed cherry cobbler, but any of your reds would work. And I just went in here, and there's a little raised piece with where the band would be. You could use your blends as well. I'm just using this one because I thought it would work good. And we'll put that right about here. She's just tossed it to one of her friends who was not too careful. And she needs an umbrella. Now we're only going to put the umbrella. We're going to stick it right behind her finger. fingers, her hand here. And we're going to let her, we're going to actually cut off part of this. It's a little long. We're going to stick it right behind here and tack it right here so it's going to hang over this piece. Like that. Actually, don't want it quite like that. I want it more over her ear. Always change your mind. Like that. So now we have 2 of them done. We have 1 more seam to build. And that's this one here. And you just sort of ignore this here because it's not going to show once you get going. So if this is folded and this is folded, straight up is about, I'm trying to get my bearing on this one, is about like this. So that's where he's going to go. And he needs his fire. And his party hat. So we're going to put the fire in first and then put him in. So what I did is I took some crumb cake pieces, just cut up little thin strips. I didn't even know what they measure. They're about 1/8 of an inch. Just a couple. And I'm just going to build a little fire, tear them in half. You just need a couple. You don't need a lot. So I'm going to grab a little bit of glue and just build something that looks like a fire. It's your fire. Make it look like whatever you want. Now I'm leaning more towards this end because I need 1 more small one over here. And then I'm going to put this right here on the fire. So think out of the side of the box. You see something and you're like, oh, I want something else. Turn something into what it wasn't. Like this flower, which is now our fire. And we'll put him up here about like that. And I did make a little purple hat for him since this is a party. I'm just putting a little caddy on so it doesn't go on there. And then I looked at him and I'm like, he looks a little weird standing there like that. So I needed to get something to make him look different. I forgot to grab it. So I grabbed my light old olive blend, my brush nib, and I just went around really lightly. Gave a little ground here. You could have put this in before, but I didn't know exactly where everybody was going to sit and where all the pieces were going to sit. But this way, he doesn't look like he's just standing in the middle of the air. So then, the card is just about done, except for the dimensional. So everything's drying now. Let's get all this out of the way. What I mean by Velcro glue dots, they're Velcro. I'm not plugging. If you find another brand, that's great. But they usually come, I've had other brands. This is just happening what they had at the local store. They usually come with a hook side and the loopy side. So you're going to want to put them. One of them is going to go here on the back of this, and one is going to sit right here. So I usually put the corner on first. So I'll stick, that way I know it's not going in the wrong spot. So I'll put that on, and then I'll take the other piece and put it right where it's going to go, over the top, like that. And try to get your fingers off of it. And then I'm going to put it together like I'm closing the card and hold it for a second. And I would recommend that you open and close this a couple times to make sure that it's going to hold well. And that is the teepee card. They've gone camping, and they're staying in a teepee and having a great time. That's the story I have, and I'm sticking to it today. It's always fun to make your projects into something, you know, a little different. And I'm sure someone like it. Like I said, there's some sticky parts here. Actually, it's dried enough. I will show you what I'm going to do. Well, no, I'm not. I don't have it here. I'm going to take my embossing body in a little bit and just tack over that ripe up and then just blow it off real quick, and all that tackiness will be gone. That happens a lot when you're doing little teeny fidgety pieces. So this folds up in the card even though these pieces are sticking over. Now this one might be a little thing, it may have to push over a little bit because it's all going off the edge. It sticks in the envelope. And you're saying it doesn't fit in the envelope, does it? Just like that. So, this is our little teepee card for birthday. And here's the other one I made. And they all look a little different. But anyhow, have a nice time. Give this fold a try. It makes great cards. Makes a great Christmas tree. You can just decorate the whole thing like a big Christmas tree. It's really nice. So, have a good day, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.